Thank you so much for joining us, Nigeria. Welcome to the show. Let's begin to talk about things that affects us in Nigeria. Welcome. This is Updated Pressure. So very quickly, let me run you through some of the high points of conversations that we may be looking at today. Not all of them, but we'll try to cover as many as possible. Prince Francis Chilaka joins us this evening. He's at Friday Sunday tonic, and he'll be joining us in the studio. Let me quickly run you through the conversations that we have because there's been a lot of worry over escalated terrorism acts or terrorist acts, um, attacks, as it were, across communities in Nigeria after the US strike. So many would think that after the US strike, such attacks would have subsided out of fear, even though there's also evidence that community members of communities of people, individuals from the communities of that strike in Sokoto State have said that, well, it is true indeed that they've seen terrorists, trying to run away from the community and all that. But I thought they said that that community was very peaceful in the first place. Well, these and other issues we'll be looking at. Let me run you through the hard topics very quickly. ISOC terrorist attack Yobe communities, injure village head, loot health center. That's not all. 3 killed as security officers clash with youths in Katsina State. And that's not all you're going to hear of. Breaking, there's another story where Living Faith Church pastor kidnapped by terrorists. I wanted to say bandits, but I mean, just to realize that they've been prescribed. So, yes, a Living Faith Church pastor, that is Winners Chapel pastor, has been kidnapped alongside his family in Kogi State. Very sad. Now, there's another attack on Kogi community as these terrorists abduct 2 residents of Kogi community. And then the same terrorist kill another set of terrorists kill pregnant woman, brother, abduct or kidnap 2 siblings in Gombe attack. You can see. And then moving on, a U.S. Congressman Riley Moore says, I saw it firsthand. Christians are being slaughtered. U.S. Congressman Riley Moore says, on the face of that Christians are facing systematic killings in Nigeria. Systematic, that's the word they used. Systematic killings. Gumi speaks as if he is terrorist commander. His actions suggest he is above the law. Joe Ibukwe insists. And then Sokoto attack, foreign military presence not solution to insecurity. Tinubu departs Lagos for Europe as presidency keeps European destinations secret ahead of Abu Dhabi trip. In case you don't understand, say your president don't leave Lagos State to go to Europe, but they no great tell Nigerians where for Europe where they go and waiting in they go do. Make it no shock you. But then moving on to other issues. Your lack of care is scary. Bolaji Abdullahi slams Tinubu over foreign trip amid silence on Zamfara bomb blast. Foreign military action. Say president never talked anything since after the bomb blast for mosque for Zamfara State. Why? And then, did I tell you that Peter Obi finally opens on move to ADC coalition? I'll be looking at that later today. Atiku Abubakar insists that Gazetted Tax Act, it's illegal, amounts to forgery. You know, agree. It just a press elect badly. Rivers, agreement, na agreement. Yo, we can want emergency Tinubu supporters and says, you know what? Tinubu no go tell us who will be our governorship candidate for 2027. Nigerians paying cheapest domestic airfares in the world. Air Peace boss Onyema Allen said so. Obaseki condemns attack on cousin Dr. Don Pedro Obaseki. He was humiliated by Edo youths today, and it's really very sad. And he demands arrest of perpetrators. All right, moving on. Lawyers calls for probe after actor Don Pedro Obaseki is stripped, dragged to Benin Palace over disrespect claims. IPOB accuses UK of double standards for celebrating British Egyptian Abdel Fattah's freedom while Nnamdi Kanu remains jailed. Well, these and other issues we'll be looking at this evening. And thank you so much for joining us. Joining us in the studio is Prince Francis Chilaka. Prince Francis, thank you so much for joining us. Good evening, sir.
Precious, good evening. How are you?
I could be better.
What's wrong with you that you could be better? Are you allowing Nigeria to get you?
We can always be better. Sometimes it can really get at you. We can always be better.
Allow Nigeria to get you.
All right, welcome, sir. How are you doing today yourself?
I'm okay.
Okay. All right.
Trying to make sure that Nigeria does not get to me.
Oh, Okay, sir. All right. Would you like to, react to some of the things happening in Nigeria? The series of attacks and all of that. In fact, first of all, make I just take you straight to my state governor Wiki, make you react to
Well,
Wiki.
sorry, I didn't get what you said.
I say make I take you to react to my state governor Wiki say agreement na agreement. So no matter what happen, say person we do agreement must keep to the agreement and say no be Tinubu go tell them who go the governorship candidate for Rivers State for 2023, 2027. Would you like to chime in on that, sir?
I'm listening.
You can't hear me. I'm done talking. It
Yeah,
looks like you can't hear me. Are you sure it's not from your earpiece? Is everything okay, sir? Okay, so let me run straight to the conversations. There's been a lot of worry as terrorist attacks escalate across Nigeria, especially within north central and northwest axis of Nigeria, including northeast even. First of all, we hear that suspected ISWAP terrorists have carried out coordinated attacks on Jabjibiri and Laddu villages in Yobe State, injuring a village head, abducting a driver, and looting a health facility. Now, the incident was disclosed in a post on Twitter X today, Sunday, by Calta Insurgency Security expert Zazile Makaba. Makaba said the attacks occurred at about 12:30 a.m. this morning, yesterday morning, so the 7th of um, December, citing security sources. Now, according to the reports, during the raid on Jajibiri village, the village head Lawad Hassan, 45, was shot in the left shoulder. The assailants later moved to Ladu village, where they abducted a 40-year-old driver, Madukura, who was driving a Toyota Hilux. They also broke into a primary healthcare center, a medical center, looting medical consumables and other valuables, and also cutting away a Golf motor vehicle. Hassan was rushed to, I think, a Gaidam hospital for medical treatment. Security operatives also confirmed the attack. Can you hear me, please, Francis Jelaka? Please confirm if you can hear me, sir. All right, so while we're waiting for him to rectify his audio, let's quickly get more of those stories, the stories, attack stories. We also did hear that in Katsina State, at least 3 people were killed after a village clash between security officers and local youths in Katsina neighborhood on Saturday night. According to reports, the trouble began when security officers tried to arrest a young man and seized his mobile phone. Local media in Katsina reported that the situation escalated as the man attempted to retrieve his phone, leading to a confrontation during which he was shot. The shooting caused anger among the youths, and of course, everywhere scattered. The youths then, tried to mob the policeman. But going straight to Kogi State, we did hear that a pastor of the Living Faith Church, aka Winners Chapel, was reportedly kidnapped by armed bandits on Saturday while going to his farm in Okorugbede in Ijimo local government area of Kogi State. According to eyewitness accounts, the pastor was traveling on a motorcycle to his farm along Ukiofin Okoro Bede axis, accompanied by a commercial driver when they were confronted by the assailants. Now, sources revealed that upon seeing the kidnappers, the pastor jumped off the motorcycle. The commercial rider managed to escape unharmed, while the pastor was abducted and taken to unknown location. As of the time of filing the reports, the kidnappers had yet, or they were yet, to contact the pastor's family or the church, and no ransom demand has been made so far. Now, the incident has sparked fear and anxiety among residents of Okoro Gbede and neighboring communities, or Korobedi and neighboring communities, and adding, to growing concerns over security in the area. In a similar incident, gunmen also attacked First Equa Church and the Apostolic Church in Ayetoro, Kiri, Kaba, Bono local government area today, Sunday. Oh, yeah, remember that happened last Sunday, I think so. December 14th, 2005. So the gunmen who attacked the churches later contacted the community demanding ransom of 600 million naira. At least 37 worshippers, including children and elderly individuals, were reportedly abducted. And so far, we're not sure they've been released. According to community sources, the attackers made contact with residents on December 15th, stating that they wanted to negotiate directly with the government. Made government negotiate with them, made nobody else do. Now, sources said that the attack had claimed the life of seminary graduate Pastor Jimo Adeyemi, also known as JJ, while others sustained scars of injuries. Over 12 children, I think aged between 3 and 8 years old, and more than 10 elderly worshippers over 70 years old were reportedly among those abducted. The attackers who surrounded the community targeted worshippers at the churches to taking advantage of peaceful gatherings, while some churchgoers managed to hide and others could not, they weren't lucky enough to abscond. And just still stating about more insecurity issues, we also did hear that Ile Bono community in Kaba, I think we talked about that, there was an attack. Now, local sources identified victims as Ayemo Shola and Mondi, popularly known as Jebeta, according to Kunvais. The circumstances surrounding the abduction remain unclear as of the time of press release. And then other attacks too. We did hear that bandits have attacked a private residence in Pindaga town, Aku local government area of Gondo State, killing 2 people, including a pregnant woman, and abducting 2 others. The attack occurred late on Saturday night, where, so victims were identified as Prince Yusuf Daduski and his pregnant sister, whose names were not immediately released. These series of attacks just after Trump's strike is very worrisome. Prince Francis Chilaka, can you hear me now, sir?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yes, sir. So I'm going back to all of the stories: attack for Gombe, Katsina, Yobe, and Kogi states. And mostly people where they targeted this time. I know more talking are mostly Christians, but the names and where they hear are mostly Christians names and churches. Now they attacked. Is it like daring the United States on a T on if you do anything, you can do more than a dead rat? What is happening? Many would have thought that the US strike would have perhaps calmed the situation a little bit, if not quite completely. And what's going on, sir?
Well, what you have playing out right now is more like when we were growing up, we used to have police and thief. I'm sure you know where I'm coming from. Where children play with a lot, police and thief, and one person is hiding, the other person is coming out. Um, uh, this is as a result of the reactions that have trailed the um, airstrike on the American government in conjunction, because the Nigerian government always wants you to recognize the fact that they were involved, in conjunction with it. And then you've had a lot of clerics coming out to tell you, oh, we don't agree. Gumi has all been all over the place, trying to turn it into a religious affair, into something that it shouldn't really be. So these are the issues. And when things happen and people you expect to say the right thing, to do the right thing, are not doing it, by extension, if they are encouraging those who have been perpetuating evil, by extension, by their utterances, then those who have been perpetuating the evil now see it as a right. That, okay, we still have supporters. So it's at this point in time that we need the northern elders. We need the Muslim clerics. We need the Muslim faithfuls. We need everybody to say, you bandits, you terrorists, what you are doing is unacceptable. That is what we need. Because if we are saying, let me give you a typical example. If Sheikh Gumi is saying that the bandits are part of us and they go nowhere, that is, tactical approval of the evil that these people are perpetrating. I don't understand how you want somebody to live in peace and harmony with somebody that is killing him or her. And you say you should settle with them. How do you settle with them? Where are they coming from? Then they have ancestral homes. Why must they come and take over other people's ancestral homes? Rather than condemn it, you are vehemently, supporting them. So yes, these attacks are expected. Honestly speaking, anybody in Nigeria who says he does not expect this kind of attacks is not being sincere. It's expected because they would also want to show their fans and to prove that they are still available. They will also want to show the world that yes, you think you are decimating us. We are in charge. We're in Nigeria. We understand the terrain. We understand what we want to do. So yes, I am not shocked that these attacks are happening, but I am blaming the entire northern elders and the clerics. Most of them, I've seen quite a lot of them who have come out to oppose the views of Gumi, but a lot of them need to do more at this point in time. They need to do more because you cannot have killers living amongst normal people.
Hmm. All right. So Shegumi himself has said a lot lately. Just like that thing when you say in talk. Make a kukuma go even play. Make people go that thing when you talk. See, they go nowhere, they're part of us. Let me quickly play because I just remember that I have a question.
They are going nowhere. They are part of us and we are part of them. We must live with them. You can't drive them away and they can't drive us away. They are our neighbors, so we should never allow them to be our enemies.
Hmm.
And if by any mistakes, by our actions, we have turned them into enemies, then we are finished.
Hey.
Because our real enemy will use them against us. As your real enemy will use your neighbor against you, and nobody knows your secret more than your neighbor. He knows when you come back and when you go out. So we should never allow herdsmen to be our enemies.
You heard that. You heard that. Okay. All right. But there's something else he also did say, sir. You hear what's in it talk. He did another thing when he also talk. This time around, he spoke in Hausa language, and I think he was referring to IPOB. Let's quickly take a listen.
Wato ƙasar Amerikan nan fa ban son kausasa magana game da ita, amma dai gaskiya munafuka ƙasa ce. Lokacin da Najeriya ta yi yaƙi da Biafra, su suke taimakawa Biafra. Ƙasar ma da ta ba mu taimako farko shine ƙasar Rasha. Saboda haka suna nan suna jin haushin ƙasar Najeriya da kuma 2015 suna cewa ƙasar Najeriya zai wargaje. Wai sun yi dirasa sun ga cewa ƙasar Najeriya za ta wargaje. Gashi shekarun sun wuce kasa ba ta warga fatan dai muna sharri take yi to da muka ji wannan kage da kazafi da ƙarya da ya fito daga bakin Amerika a lokacin da ta fito daga wani barna a ƙasan Gaza muka ce wayannan mutanen nan ba su samu abin da suke so a can ba ko akwai wani nufi ba abin da suke faɗa ba bayan ƙarya ne mutane da yawa na mutuwa a Najeriya musulmi da kirista kamar da ba musulmai ba ma kowa ma dai ana samu wannan sannan kuma ana faɗa tsakanin ƙabilu ana faɗa tsakanin makiyaya da masu noma to duka wannan haɗe a cikin wannan rikicin kawai mutum daga Amerika ya tsame kawai kirista da ke wasu ake alhali muna zaune da su lokacin da ke maganan shugaban soja na koli kirista ne cikin manya-manyan sojojin nan na air force kaɗai ne musulmi duka kirista ne to yaushe za a zo a ce muna kashe kirista a sha akwai wata manufa da wannan manufan ne ya ce to maganin maciji mai a datsa kan ba Amerika kaɗai ce a duniya ba wadda yake za ka rasa abun ba ka yi hulɗa da ita ba in kayan kere-kere muke da akwai ƙasan China in kayan ƙarfi ne akwai ƙasar Rasha sannan kuma ko da tattalin arzikin ƙasa yanzu akwai wasu ƙasashe da ake kira BRICS wayanda ke sun ƙoƙarin haɗuwa ne domin su ga cewa wannan babakere da Amerika ta yi a tattalin arzikin ƙasa an karya shi kuma Najeriya ta shiga cikin shi tsundum to me muke tsoro akwai kasashen da suke rayuwa tare ba sun ma wai akwai wani abu Amerika ba ashe yanzu lokaci ya zo wannan makasan nan da ta cutar da mu
Beg your pardon. Prince Ross Chilakasa, can you hear me? So in that video, Shegumi be the talk, the react say, America still did very angry because it supported Biafra during the war and Biafra lose the war. So they be vexed. So this is an opportunity for them to vent their anger on Nigeria.
Sometimes when some people talk, you try to ignore them. You try to ignore the cry that comes out of their mouth, the stupid things to say. Like I said to somebody earlier today, that Gumi is looking for a way to start what I call a religious or a tribal war in Nigeria. And the government is pretending as if they are not listening. The government is pretending as if they don't care. And I'm asking myself, what is it that Gumi has on this government that is making it difficult for the government to arrest him? Um, if you check what Gumi has said in the last few days, side by side what Nnamdi Kanu or what they claim Nnamdi Kanu has said, I made them to go and rendition him from Kenya. There's no difference. So I think the government owes it as a responsibility, not only to herself, but to Nigerians to call this man to order. Whatever he's saying about the Biafra war, that the Americans are, if you say that the Americans are not happy that they lost, that the Biafra lost the Civil War, what would the Americans be doing now? The Americans then, what they should be doing is not fighting Nigeria, is to fight, take their fight and say, we want to support the Southeast. But this one now, what we have now, has nothing absolutely to do with the Civil War. Now he's asking the federal government to go and seek for help from Turkey, Pakistan. These are called Islamic states. Is that not sending a signal to us of what his intents are? Don't forget, I think he was either a captain or a colonel when he left the Nigerian army. And where did he work? So when people talk sometimes, it's good to dig into them, to find out their mindset. Do you think that if Nigeria goes to Pakistan to seek for military collaboration, they will come from Pakistan to kill the insurgents? Or you go to Turkey? So we need to be very careful. And in being careful, the government needs to take a decisive action with respect to Gumi. Because Gumi is saying a lot of things that could actually be referred to as hate speech. He's saying things that is capable of inciting the people. And the government is keeping quiet. And that is my worry. That is my worry.
Okay. So ordinarily, government supposed to do something about it. The government supposed to arrest them or something like that. But how about if the government themselves to also avoid any further problem?
Avoid in what way? Do you know the import of what he's saying? Do you know the import of what he's saying? If you have noticed, you'll find out that the Arewa youth, because I think the Arewa youth, the leader of the Arewa youth, has come out vehemently to oppose him because they know the repercussion of what he's doing. They know that what he's doing can actually set this country ablaze. And we're just thinking it is funny. Earlier today, somebody told me that Gumi is a government-appointed negotiator. I said, government has not come out to tell us in black and white that Gumi is their negotiator. And what do you want to really negotiate? What do you want to negotiate with? Is it people that strap explosives on their body and detonate it? Is that the kind of people you want to negotiate with? We have Nigerians living in IDP camps. They were chased away from their ancestral homes. Who are those living in that ancestral homes? Why is government not relocating these people back to their ancestral homes? So these are questions begging for an answer. And everyone is keeping quiet. We're all pretending that like all is good. All is not well. So the lives of Gumi and those who are speaking inciting words need to be stopped as soon as possible.
All right, sir. Thank you. So let's move quickly to other issues still concerning the insecurity because it's not yet over. We also did hear that bandits have attacked a private residence in Pindinga town, Akko local government area of the state, killing a pregnant woman. That's the only one that is very annoying. The pregnant woman died in that attack. Well, moving on, I mean, there's been a response from Congressman Riley Moore as U.S. Congressman Riley Moore of West Virginia has raised alarm over Nigeria's escalating security crisis, claiming that Christians are being systematically targeted across the country. Now, speaking during an interview on Fox News in Graham Angle, Moore said he recently returned from Nigeria, where he visited internally displaced persons IDP camps, housing Christian families forced from their ancestral homes due to violent attacks. Moore alleged that armed Fulani militants, that's what he called them, and ISIS-linked groups are behind the violence, particularly in Nigeria's middle belt and northern regions. And then they do agree with some other at all. He recounted meeting families who had lost children, spouses, and entire household, describing the attacks as indiscriminate and ongoing. That is still ongoing. According to Moore, many survivors now live in IDP camps, struggling to rebuild their lives after losing loved ones, he said. And the congressman praised US President Donald Trump for authorizing airstrikes in ISIS camps and in northern Nigeria, including Sokoto State. Now, Moore said the strikes involved more than a dozen Tomahawk cruise missiles fired in Nigeria. But even with Western talking, also talks about the first Christmas when Nigerians they spent in the past couple of years without an attack, of a Christian community. But there's something more interesting that happened because the Christian Association of Nigeria don't come talk say corroborating claim, saying that in the past of 2 or 3 Christmases, now the first time we would see say on Christmas Day we won't hear of any attack, and they actually went to pay a solidarity visit to the president in his residential home in the States. And that's why they stated that. And they want to thank him. Anything when you do, when make the Christians this year, make it do and make it. Make I let you talk about the fact quickly also touch on the fact. So
let me say, Precious, hold on. Let me say this. The hypocrisy.
Right more so that you hear him and
Okay.
Here with me is West Virginia Congressman Riley Moore. He's been sounding the alarm on this issue and just returned from Nigeria earlier this month. Congressman, explain the situation. You saw it firsthand in Nigeria just a couple weeks ago.
Well, Merry Christmas, Jason. Thanks for having me on. The tragedy that's been unfolding in Nigeria is really quite shocking, and I was there earlier this month, saw it firsthand. People, Christians, living in IDP camps, refugee camps, because they have been pushed off of their ancestral land, particularly in the middle belt of the country, which is where we have these Fulani militants, just roaming bands of Islamic terrorists, murdering at will Christians and pushing them off of their ancestral homeland, and now they're living in IDP camps. I met people that had lost their children, watched them murdered right in front of them. A mother of 5 had lost all 5 of her children. I met another woman who had lost 2 of her daughters, her husband, and they murdered her unborn child. So this is just wanton murder that's been going on there. And obviously President Trump has finally stood up to this. And I do want to point something out very important. The last 2 Christmases, there has been a massacre of Christians in Nigeria. The tables have absolutely turned this year. The Islamic terrorists in Nigeria were the ones receiving that type of present this year. So quite a bit different. The president is totally focused on this. He made that very clear in this attack, and this is a very good first step to addressing this issue. And we did this in coordination with the Nigerian government, which is very important to point out, because this isn't the United States unilaterally doing this. We are doing this in coordination with the Nigerian government to help secure their country and end the slaughter of Christians in Nigeria.
It's stunning how many people actually live in Nigeria. It's something like less than 4% of the land mass in Africa, but 1 out of every 6 residents in Africa live in Nigeria. Congressman, I want to ask you about this because the New York Times reported on the strikes this way, saying Sokoto State, I hope I'm pronouncing that properly, is, quote, populated overwhelmingly by Muslims who bear the brunt of terrorist attacks there, according to analysts and groups that monitor conflicts. What's your response to that?
You know, unfortunately, this is the same refrain we've heard from the left. They don't want to admit that Christians are being murdered for their faith in our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ. I think it's probably them playing to their Islamic radical base that they now have to appease for whatever reason. But yes, look, there are more Muslims living in the northeast and the northwest of this country, the northwest where this strike took place, where we launched over 12 Tomahawk cruise missiles to ISIS camps, which those terrorists were destroyed, and there was no collateral damage in that. But there are Christians that do live in the northern part of the country, and we've seen massacres take place at the hand of ISIS over the years, and it's happened this year as well. This continues to take place. So this idea that Muslims are facing reprisals and killing, of course they are. They live there. There's terrorist groups. Both are being killed. We want to secure this country, but 5 to 1 in that country is the amount of Christians being killed to non-Christians. It is a 5 to 1 ratio, and as you pointed out at the outset of this, over 7,000 Christians this year.
Congressman Riley Moore, thanks
Well,
for
you don't
taking
hear
some
within
leadership on
Congressman
this
Riley Moore
very
talk. I'll
difficult
make
issue.
a quickly take your reaction, Prince Francis Chilaka, sir. Can you hear me, sir?
Yeah, I
Hello,
can
sir.
hear you.
Yes.
Can you hear me?
Very
Even though I have a lot of noise at my background, but I'll try to
Sorry,
see
would you
how
like me to
audible I
do
can be.
Christmas party?
There's
Sorry,
no one more problem.
sorry. Go ahead, sir.
You know, I started by saying I'm very happy with the hypocrisy of Christian leaders and some of our Christian followers. We seem not to be bothered as Christians. You talk about Christianity, you're talking about Christ-like. They seem not to be asking themselves, in this situation, what would Christ do? You know what it took for quite a number of them to accept that there is something going on. You know what it took for some of our Christian leaders, even our Christian brothers, to accept that there is killing of Christians. And it's really hurting. It was painful. Even in the face of all of this, you see them parading themselves as CAN, PFN, this one, that one. They are not speaking truth to power. That is what they're supposed to be doing. It's so sad that it is people from outside Nigeria that are even talking about the killings that are happening in Nigeria. It's so bad. It's so sad. It's so bad. But then, what do we expect? You have a country where corruption is the order of the day. Even in the house of God now, there's corruption. So what are we talking about? I mean, look at the explanation. Look at what it took American government to send delegation that went to visit, these camps, these IDP camps. How many Nigerian pastors have gone to visit those camps? How many of your daddy GOs have gone there? Are they not ashamed of themselves? Are they not ashamed? Why is it that the Christians in Nigeria, the men of God, are not asking government, please help us take these people back to their ancestral homes? Do you know the kind of life people live in IDP camps? It's like living in a concentration camp. You don't have your life. Your life has been taken away, so to say. So our church leaders need to do more. If our church leaders were speaking like Sheikh Gumi, we will understand, but they're not speaking. They're not talking. All they do is go from one government house to another. I don't know whether they're pleading with government or what. This is the time that the church should be preaching liberation theology. Speak truth to power. The heavens will not fall. We have to wait for Donald Trump to ginger the Nigerian government, to put heat on the Nigerian government, for the Nigerian government to wake up and realize that our people are being killed daily. Our people are being slaughtered like chicken. It's so sad, honestly.
So, talking about that, I did announce yesterday that the US military has resumed surveillance of Nigeria airspace again, I mean area again, especially in Borno State. So here it was Brent Phillip who said that, and he did say the United States today resumed, surveillance on ISWAP.
Hello?
Um,
Hello?
the,
Hello?
okay, sincere apologies. Yeah, of ISWAP in the Sambisa Forest, Borno State, in northeast Nigeria, after a pause of 1 day rather, following the strikes that took place in Sokoto State. And contrary to the image I posted earlier, I mean, with this alongside this report yesterday that I did announce was the particular aircraft that they used. No, that's not Gulfstream aircraft. I just thought to quickly state that that was more of a military aircraft I posted yesterday, and so I thought to quickly correct that. But moving on to other issues, sincere apologies. Prince Francis is a bit distracted because of the noise in his background. So, moving on. I mean, Joe Igbokwe, just like everyone has complained about, um, Sheikh Gumi, chieftain of the All Progressive Congress, Joe Igbokwe, has accused Islamic scholar Sheikh Ahmed Gumi of acting as though he is above the law. Now, Igbokwe made the remark today, Sunday, alleging that Gumi consistently speaks in defense of terrorists and conducts himself like their leader. In a post shared on X, Ibukwe wrote, Is Shegumi above the law? I have heard him speak in favor of terrorists and seen him meet with them, armed terrorists. He speaks as if he's their commander. His actions and conduct suggest that he is above the law. Now, Gumi has remained vocal, of course, we don't know that, concerning terrorists and all of those issues. However, the African Democratic Congress has criticized President Bola Ahmed Tinubu's administration over the recent United States airstrikes on suspected terrorist locations in Sokoto, describing the development as a sign of failure in handling Nigeria's security challenges. Say, President, you don't fail. You don't do this one well. In a statement issued by its publicity secretary, Bolaji Abdullahi, the party said, while it recognizes the serious security threats facing the country, the involvement of a foreign troop in Nigeria's soil raises serious concerns about sovereignty of the country. And many would say, excuse me, sir, where the sovereignty been there when these people they do these attacks? Oh, number two, where exactly was the sovereignty when Nigeria fly go Benin Republic? Where don't invite them all? I be won't talk something with the talk on small. Like I'm not invited to move fly. We went to go and protect their sovereignty, sorry, to protect their democracy or defend the democracy. Why was that sovereignty? Benin Republic not be sovereign state. Is what is good for the goose no longer good for the gander, many would say. But then Bolaji Abdullahi did say that, and people don't react to him. So in a statement issued, he said, so the ADC said protecting lives and defeating terrorism should remain a top national priority, adding that it supports all lawful and effective measures aimed at restoring security in the country. And just to quickly also let you know that Peter Obi, the presidential candidate of the Labour Party on the 2023 for the 2023 election, has finally spoken out about his involvement with the coalition or his movement to the ADC. So he had a space today, and he did speak on the space that he had on Twitter today. He spoke extensively while responding to questions around his movement to the ADC. So someone did ask a question about whether or not he's moving to the ADC and if Atiku Abubakar will be stepping down for him. Here's his reaction to that conversation. Take it
Who's on ADC, AA stepping down, Atiku stepping down. Let me assure you, when people say I'm defecting to ADC, when people say I'm joining ADC, I don't know how, I don't know what to say. All of you are in this country. When ADC was launched, I was there. I was there. And they said it's us coming together for this coalition. And I said it and I spoke there. I said, I am part of this coalition. I said it there. So why would I join something that we started months ago? Other people are trying to make me a new person. So they'll say, oh, after it was in December that you entered. Let me assure you, I've been part of ADC from inception and contributed, though, not just from inception. I said all oppositions must come together if we are going to change this country. All of us will come together. It is no longer about the party thing. It is all of us coming together because we are in existential threat where things are collapsing. So all of us, whether you are in PDP, you are in Labour, you are in AMPP, whether you are in whatever action group, whether you are in whatever YP, we need to come together and save this nascent democracy that is collapsed now. We need to come together. So I'm part of ADC. Whether somebody asking question, whether Atiku is stepping down for me, let me tell you one thing I've always said. Atiku remains a leader I respect. He remains a very senior brother I respect and will always want to work with. I'm not talking about anybody stepping down for me. I'm going into ADC. All of us have agreed to come together to work as a family. And when we get to that family, the most important thing Nigerians should be asking in ADC is, yes, some of us can say we are good. Some people might say, some are not listening. How can you say, me ask that question, how can you say ADC is going to change when this corrupt man is this, when this bad man is with you, when this is let me tell you, the man who wrote most of the sections we read in the Bible today, I'm a Christian, is the man who was the chief prosecutor of Jesus Christ, of the Christianity, and let that change. Most important thing I want to see in ADC families, what is it that we're offering Nigerians that is different from what they're getting today? What is it that we're offering them? If it is that we want power for the sake of power, Peter Obi is not part of it. I want to see a Nigerian where we are offering people better education. We're offering people health facilities where the person in my village can be sick, where the person in my village can be sick and have a primary health care he can attend. I want us to offer poor people out of poverty. I want us to be investing the resources. I'm looking forward to a productive, progressive Nigeria where things can work for everybody, where people are employed, where young youths are this. This is not ever. We have 130 million people that are living in poverty. I've traveled all over the world, going to different schools. I've traveled all over the world, going to different countries to learn what they did. What we are trying to do, some people have done it better, and I've visited them, studied what they are doing. So for me, it is, what are we offering? It's not a question of, oh, I'm going in there, somebody will step down for me. I'm going in there to be a member. That's how I'm in there. I'm a member. It is for us to collectively say, Kako can do this job better. I'm looking for a Nigeria where people will not just be competing for competing's sake. I'm looking for a Nigeria where Ibrahim is better. He can do it. I'm looking for a Nigeria where Aisha, I'm looking for a Nigeria where Bola, anybody is better. And we can say, yes, if we are working with this person, it will be a better person for us to work with. A better person for us to work with. Not in Nigeria where Tanko knows he's not in financial industry. Not in a Nigeria where Peter knows he's not a good manufacturer, but they say they're looking for money from a manufacturer loan is now 5%. He goes to borrow it and throw it away. When he knows that in Nigeria where Peter Obi knows he cannot manage money, and he manage money, I, as as a bank chairman, have in my life wrote a note to somebody who was very good, a very good, hardworking person. And I wrote in the system where he is. I told them, this man is very good and should be put to be in charge of social and social place, but should not be put where money is. And his organ came years after and told me, you are fantastic. Because he doesn't have the skill to manage money. Whenever he put money in his hand, he mismanages it. But if you leave him where he is, he's doing very well. So I told him, I said, as long as you don't put him where he's in charge of money, he's weak. Because managing money is difficult. It is not easy for people to have money and they won't spend it. It is it's very tempting. It's not, people think it is easy. It is very, 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 very tempting for you to have money and you go about, and I think people who have been around me and see me recommend and say, this man can manage money, this man cannot manage money, even see me. 2 days ago, I was in Abuja, or 3 days ago, my lawyer, whom I was in his office, offered to buy me something. And I said, what is the price? He told me, I said, no, you can't have it. He said, I'm the one paying. I said, I'm not saying you're not the one paying. Today I was in his house, in his village. I passed through it. I said, I came to greet you. He said, do you know, since that 2 days ago, he's been wondering why he wanted to buy that thing for me. I said, well, maybe I was wrong. I have allergy for money being wrongly spent because some people need it. That's why I can't afford to celebrate when people can't go to school. So I'd rather give that money to school. And luckily for me, he's an old boy of a school doing their celebration very soon. As a lawyer, go there and buy 2 chairs with that money. That money would have given me to do this something, we'll buy 2 chairs. If all of us buy 2 chairs, so ADC must offer something different. I took time to answer this so that maybe people will not. Somebody said, what do we do in 2023 that we're going to do differently in 2023? Well, it's not for us to elaborate this in space, but we all know that we have to do things differently. And I assure you, we will do it differently.
All right, so that's,
as we go along, we will continue to discuss what we did wrong and what we're going to do.
All right, thank you so much. That's Peter Obi there. You heard all the things he said during that space. Professor Chilak, I'd like you to react very quickly, especially considering his response to the rumors that he'll be defecting to the ADC. He's basically just confirms that. Let me take your reaction, sir.
Well, I participated in that space, and I listened to Peter Obi very well. He spoke consistently. He hasn't changed from his desire for a better Nigeria, a country where he hasn't changed from believing in the rule of law. He hasn't changed from believing that we can actually get our electoral process right, and that people should be encouraged to go and vote. And I like the way he responded to the question regarding his membership of the coalition, and he said it clear. He didn't mince words. He said, I have been there from day one. So why is it that people are making it look as if I am just trying to be part of the group? He has been there, which we all know. And I think it is mischievous for anybody to try to paint the picture that Peter Obi just wants to join the coalition. But there is something he said, other than every other thing he said. There's something he said that I took home. He said he was asked if he was going to join ADC in order to come up and work with Atiku as the vice. And he said, look, I have been traveling around the world, learning how governance is carried out, learning how leaders treat their people, learning how institutions work. How can I be doing all of that just because I want to be a vice. Have you ever seen somebody who wants to be a vice going to a president to learn? And you don't go to a president to learn when you want to be a vice. You go to a vice to learn. And that he believes strongly that he's the best man for the job. Of all, he's still the best. And that is, for me, that is a plus. I like that. That is a man who has courage, who has vision, who knows what he wants. So he has put paid to the fact that yes, he's going to ADC and that he is not going to ADC to jeopardize anybody. He's going to ADC to ensure that he's on the ballot paper. So let us keep our fingers crossed and see how they are still negotiating, they are still discussing, and see how it all goes. So, it's a welcome development.
All right. So, very quickly, news carry on say your President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, did depart Lagos State today to Europe.
They don't travel already.
And then ADC contact say, hey, Peter, so they say, say now, wow, if I say your lack of care, say the way we be saying no saying that or say the thing with fear person, like your lack of care is scary. How can you, Zamfara State people, then bomb them? You never do inside them. People, Equa church members, and spend Christmas for yet you never do anything about them, but you won't go straight to Europe and without even telling anybody your whereabouts, exactly where you go and waiting for. Even though say we not say get conference, you want to tell Dabi. Let me take care of
all right. So two things. I'm going to take two things at once. The first one I'm going to talk about is ADC's criticizing the airstrike by the American government. Because each time we want to lie to ourselves in this country, we look for excuses. We have lied, we have tried to use sovereignty to lie. And we have tried to use sovereignty to cover the evil that's been going on in Nigeria. I honestly felt disappointed with that press statement by ADC criticizing the strike because we all have seen what is happening to our fellow Nigerians. We have seen what is happening to our fellow Nigerians. We were in this country where 200 or 300 children were kidnapped. We saw the one that happened in Katsina, where they were taken by terrorists. Except we're saying that the kidnappings are not being done by terrorists or by government officials. But if it is being done by these terrorists, I believe that we do not have the capacity. Let us put the word out there. The Nigerian army does not have the capacity for this kind of guerrilla warfare that is going on. They don't have the capacity. And even if they have the capacity, they don't have the manpower. Even if they have the manpower, they don't have the equipment. So I believe that every right-thinking Nigeria should support any aid towards ending this madness that is going on in the north. We need to end it. We need to have a country where you can travel at night to where you're going. Nobody will disturb you. Precious, I have traveled from Lagos to the north, to Niger, Kano, Kaduna, Sokoto, Zamfara. I've moved from Gusau in the night down to Kaduna just to go and call. Nobody will stop you. No bandit will be on the road. Nothing will disturb you. I've traveled from Zamfara to Sokoto in the night. Why can't we do that today? Why can't we do that? So the insecurity in the land is alarming. It's alarming. So any way we can resolve it, anybody that can give us solution to it, I believe that everybody should support it. Now, talking about your president traveling, I don't know how many times your president has told you he's traveling. You only see two things when your president is traveling. If he's going from Abuja, you see all the governors who line up like babies to wave at the plane. If he's going from Lagos, you don't hear about it. You only hear that your president has traveled when the special advisor on media, Bayo Nonoga, releases something. So, I mean, when people say that the president does not have empathy, and I laugh. Your president traveled when people were killed in Yelawata. You remember? Other presidents will cut short their trip and come back. Even when your president came back and had to go to Yelawata, he didn't get to the venue. He didn't get to the scene of the incidents. So I think people are expecting too much from the administration. People are expecting too much, and that is why people get hurt when the expectations are not met. I am not expecting too much.
All right, sir. Okay, so let me quickly move to politics because there are a few interesting things. Wike, your brother, is at TTP. Agreement. And one of his supporters, your daily fire, don't begin blast Sheyi Makinde. Say federal government give Sheyi Makinde 50 billion naira during that bomb blast that happened for inside the state. They give him the 50 billion intervention. So what's in and do? And he brought us an evidence. This is the evidence he brought. It was a circular from the Federal Ministry of Finance about the different states who need intervention for. But this circular, however, does not state that the money has eventually been given, to them. But let me quickly play a few of what Fayoshi had to say whilst he was trying to back his friend Nyesom Wike. I mean, people they talk say I support his friend Nyesom Wike because of the interview which Sheyi Makinde get when he talk about. And by the way, Nyesom Wike would have another media chat tomorrow, an end of the media chat, where perhaps he would have time to respond to Sheyi Makinde appropriately. Take a listen to Ayo Fayoshi.
You got a 50 billion naira in support of the explosion in Ibadan. He never said that to us. So,
Tinubu's 50 billion naira, Makinde's silence, and the governors, Nigerians, must keep questioning.
All right, then. So, I mean, I just wanted you to hear that from what he said. Would you quickly react to that, sir?
Fayoshi, let us say the way it is. Since the issue between Fayoshi and the former president, Ambassador, Fayoshi has been looking for ways of becoming relevant, once more. And that's the problem. Yes, that's the problem with our politicians. At the moment they are losing relevance, they begin to look for things that they will hold on to. If you remember, Alimodi Sheriff, who has been in limbo, wanted to come out and shine. And who did he use? He used Peter Obi's name to come out. But when he found out that people did not buy into that propaganda, he went back. Have you heard about him since then? So that's what Fayoshi is fighting to become relevant. And I think it is high time Fayoshi declares formally for APC. We need to know those in APC. We need to know those who are in APC and those who are in PDP. So Fayoshi seems to have left his spirit has left PDP. The only thing that you see there is his body, which is useless. So it is high time we know where he stands. Now, talking about the fact that money was disbursed to the governor of Oyo State, I mean, I don't have any affinity to Makinde. I don't have right to. I don't have anything to defend him. But the point is, you will see that there seems to be a close relationship between Fayoshi and APC, because the document we are talking about, which he is parading, is a very sensitive document. It's a government document that should not be in the hands of anyone. So for Fayoshi to have that document, we should be asking Fayoshi, where did you get such document from? That's the question we should be asking him. Where did he get the document from? So I think that what is playing out is that APC is fighting, is using their normal wayo style to fight Makinde. That's what is happening. And already they have somebody that can do it. Just like when APC wanted to fight Peter Obi, on social media, they had a Reno Makere that was available to do the bidding. Since Reno Makere became ambassador designate, have you seen him talk about Peter Obi? He has not. He has gone solo. So that's the problem we're having. The problem we're having is that we have a political party that seems to enjoy blackmailing.
All right, sir. Okay, sir. So yes. let me quickly jump on other issues before I get to Alan Onyema, because he also said something that is worthy of note. So speak quickly, Roxin A. Igelige, an entertainment lawyer and former student of Dr. Don Pedro Basiki, has condemned the assaults, public humiliation, and degradation of the Nigerian actor in Benin City today, Sunday. Now, in a statement, Igeli described the incident in which Obaseki was ambushed, kidnapped, stripped to his boxers, forced, I can't play that video, please, and let me play it, forced to kneel and crawl, and dragged to the Oba of Benin Palace by a group of young men claiming to act on behalf of the Oba of Benin or the Benin Traditional Council as a criminal act and very shameful. Now, he said, let me emphasize that the ambushing, kidnapping, stripping, molestation, harassment, tongue lashing, and meets threats of death and coercive dragging of Dr. Don Pedro Obaseki to the palace of the Oba of Benin under the claim that he is an Oye while he was in his regular football exercise at Owa Primary School in Benin City. It's barbaric, criminal, and totally unacceptable under the rule of law. In the same vein, Obaseki himself has also reacted as a former governor of the state, has condemned an attack on his cousin, Dr. Pedro Obaseki, by youths suspected to be thugs in Benin City. It was the former governor, in a statement made available to Newsmen today, Sunday, called on security agencies to immediately investigate the matter and arrest those behind such heinous acts. Now, Obaseki described the incident as a grave violation of fundamental human rights and a reckless disregard for the rule of law. He also expressed deep disappointment over the alleged involvement of the palace in the incident, noting that the act is not only embarrassing but deeply troubling. He said quite a lot. I like to put Don Pedro's response. Now, the crux of the matter, I say, while in day for London, he made a statement to the people of Benin. I mean, there were Edo indigens, like a conference where Edo people attended, and he made a statement. He talked. After the long talk, at the end of the talk, he was supposed to say Oba Atope, which is may the king live long or long live the Oba of Benin. Instead, he said Edo Atope, that is may the people of Benin live long, and that is his offense. That to them, that was interpreted as an insult to the Oba of Benin. And he had an interview later this evening with the AIT. Here's what he had to say about it.
Well, today at about 11:30, today, Sunday, the 28th of December, while playing football with my football mates at Uwa Primary School in Benin. We have the Uwa Osters. The place was attacked by assailants, and I was physically abducted, in short, basically kidnapped. Some of them holding guns, and some of them are non-thugs. Luckily I have their names, and they hauled me through the streets of Benin under the guise that they've been sent to come and abduct me by the palace of the Oba of Benin. And I begged them to show me some form of ID. Of course not. I was dragged, beaten, severely manhandled, and dragged through Igbisawan Street up to Akpakpava, which is the main thoroughfare in Benin, and up to Ring Road, where I was stripped naked and taken into the palace of the Oba of Benin, and where I was meant to kneel in full public glare. I've never been so humiliated, because I am who I am because of my nativity, my Beninness. I've served my culture. I don't know what to say. Today in fact, I was later released. I was actually also taken to a police station where the commissioner of police proved his mettle. Came within 2 hours, he came to see me 3 times before he ordered my release, from the police station at Oba Market Road. From the countenance of the chiefs I met at the palace, it was clear that they did not send these people on these messages. From what it was. So this elemental brigadage has to stop. I am traumatized. I'm distraught. And I hear that my sin was that I went to London And in a public statement, I said Edo Ratokbe, which means may Edo people live long and prosper. That I should have said Oba Atokbe, may the Oba live long and prosper. That my saying may Edo people live long and prosper is a cardinal sin in Benin. For me, who has elevated the culture of the Benin race in my 35 to 40 years as the pioneer of the present Nollywood. Okay, Edoya Atokbe, Oba Atokbe, because he's cybernetic. There is no king without subjects.
All right, so that's what he had to say. He's already explained it, that that was his crime that he committed and why he was so humiliated. And so a lot of people now they carry him as
Let me, Precious, hold on. Let me ask.
About Benin. Go ahead.
Let me ask you a question. The first question I want to ask: in all of this, where were the Nigerian police?
Nowhere.
Where were the Nigerian police? So, what this so-called protectors of the culture, tradition of Edo people, these people, these guys, these youths who have become so powerful, who are now custodian of the culture. What they did to this man today, is it anything different from what the same Muslim brothers, fanatical Muslim brothers in the north do when you desecrate their Quran?
Not at all.
Is there any difference?
No.
And then we will come out from the south. We will say the south, we are educated, we are knowledgeable, we are civilized. Where is that civilization? Where is the civilization? I mean, if you not believe very well, from where they took him and the routes they took is quite a distance. And I would believe that route they took, there must be at least minimum of 2 police stations. Where were the policemen? But if it is for policemen to stand on the checkpoints, to harass Yahoo boys, to collect money from drivers, they'll be there.
So,
but I think that I think that the Oba of Benin needs to his father didn't behave like this. His father is a revered. His father is a very revered Oba.
But the palace don't say their hand don't be inside that they were.
But they dragged him to the palace. Who sent them?
Perhaps
they dragged him to the palace. Over what? There cannot be overzealous youth without somebody talking to them, without somebody gingering them.
So do you think that whatever grounds the Oba and the former governor Obaseki may have had could be part of the reason why he was treated this way? Considering
exactly. Exactly. So anybody that
don't talk to you, separate your traditional institutions from politics, then waiting they go
see,
on.
The thing is that if I must say this to Mondo Popular, what has been displayed shows that he's not the governor of the state. What this youth displayed, yes. What this youth displayed in Benin City shows that the Oba is the governor of the state. If he wants to argue, let him argue with his keyboard. How can you have a state? You have a governor in your state. And Oba. No. We need to tell ourselves the truth.
The Oba way more than any governor in their state.
That is what I'm telling you, that they don't have a governor. That's what I'm telling you, there is no governor. The Oba is in charge of the state. The Oba is in charge.
So people should go with their tradition because they have governors or a governor?
No, the Oba has its limitations. In law, according to our constitution, the governor is in charge. According to the constitution of Nigeria, the obnoxious document you people parade as the constitution. That's why the governor is called the chief security officer without having balls to exercise that office. But the truth of the matter is that, the governor of the state has failed the people. If he was lynched, what would you have said?
I mean, I thought it looks like he was going to be lynched to death.
Good. If he was lynched,
that's why I cannot play it.
If he was precious, if he was lynched, with the information that has circulated that the Oba sanctioned it, do you think anybody can exonerate the Oba?
So, Prince Francis Chilaka, do you know why this is worrisome for me? I was thinking, in my opinion, I thought that the pressing of Dr. Don Pedro Obaseki, somebody who got his PhD at a very early age and who has made Benin tradition very proud from different things he's done. He's very well read. He's also a lawyer, by the way. He wrote a book called Obaseki. I personally acted and participated in acting that drama, that stage drama, while I was a student of theater arts in the University of Port Harcourt. And I know how revered that book is and how that book showed or explored the history of the Great Benin Kingdom. So somebody who has traveled or who has, articulated the culture of Benin people and have taken it all over the world in that manner, is it worthy of this kind of impact by his own people, the same people he revered?
Precious, politics in Nigeria. Politics in Nigeria, politics in office, in Africa has no respect for anybody. You are either with the winning team or you are out. It has no respect for anybody. And that's the truth. That's the simple truth. Politics we've just politicized everything in this country. That is why a governor can wake up from sleep and shut down a radio station. That's why a local government chairman can wake up and go and arrest a radio presenter or a journalist. Because we have bastardized the entire institutions.
All right.
Let me finish. When these things happen, these are the reasons why a lot of us are afraid of this so-called state policing. This is why we are afraid of state policing. Because at the end of the day, when the government, when they institutionalize state policing, it is these thugs that will be recruited. It is these same thugs. You saw how useless last man was before now. How the only thing last man knew before now was how to chase cars, jump into the car, drag the driver out. That was all they were known for. But with the new management of last man, you can see a lot of decorum. They are now beginning to live out what the core responsibility of last man is, which is traffic management. Under the former GM of last man, I've forgotten his name now. Under the former GM of last man, the only thing the man knew was, revenue. And so the last man officials became thugs. They became worse than the thugs they were out there. So these are things that people are afraid of when we talk about state policing.
All right, sir. So let's quickly move on. So would you like to chime in on what your friend Wiki said? I don't want to read plenty things about him. We not also agreement and agreement. Everybody must keep to their own agreement. I will play you a sharp video. Okay?
Don't play me anything about Wiki. Don't bother me about Wiki. Wiki should go and meet the expatriates that come on do us for 6 months. Why has Wiki with all the noise Wiki and the State House of Assembly made over probe? Why have they not probed the expatriates? Why have they not probed it?
It can't be throw a jab or be this or whatever it is at the governor. Say, why did Amehula now why did Amehula announce that Sim Fubara had about 600 billion left by the expatriates? Saying now River State money they sweet a lot of people well, so they will go the near in Bodina just to chop part of the 600 billion and all of those issues. But if you don't want us to talk about it,
for me, let me tell you true. Wike has lost it politically. They have killed him in River State politically. That's what very remain.
No, but you know, saying see, I think na him go see decide who go be governor for 2026.
It
So
will
who can
not
say president?
possible.
Who
It
go
is
fit
not
decide who
possible.
go be governor for
It is
2026?
not possible, precious. It is not possible. You
Sir,
need to understand the
hey,
dynamics of the political parties and how they work. As a minister, where you have a governor, you are a nobody. You are a nobody. Go and ask. Go and read the constitutions of political parties. That is clear. The man in charge of the party in the state is the governor. In the absence of a governor, if you have a senator, it's a senator. If you don't have a senator, you have a honorable member of House of Rep, is the one. If in all of that you have a local government chairman in one local government. He's in charge of the party. That is the way parties are structured.
all
So as
right.
far as Rivers is
Let's
concerned, as far as Rivers State is concerned, see, Wike knows his days are numbered. He has lost out. And that's as simple as
all
it
right.
is.
All right. So just before I open the phone lines, Nigerians phone lines will be open shortly for you to jump in on the conversation should you want to do that very quickly. But before we go, chairman of and the executive, the chief executive officer of I think Air Peace Airline, Alain Onyema, says Nigerians are paying the cheapest domestic airfares in the world. Onyema made this revelation today, Sunday, during an interview on a Rise Television, monitored by a lot of people. Now, he was reacting to the public outcry of costly airfares in Nigeria, especially this Yuletide. They say, why Nigerians did they fare unfair on them? They say Nigerians are paying the cheapest domestic airfares in the world. A 1 hour flight costs over $400 abroad. But in Nigeria, we still have tickets for 125,000, which is less than $60. That is why the mortality rate of airlines in Nigeria is very high. Over 80 airlines have come and gone. They should allow airlines to breathe in it. He said quite a lot. I'll play you except of the things he said.
Don't play me.
And Nigerians are already.
Don't play. I don't want to hear that man. Onyema should go and die and should go and commit suicide. He's a very
He said a
stupid
lot of
man.
other things. So
Onyema
he said a
that
lot
is
of other
talking.
things.
When Onyema had issues, was it not the same ordinary Nigerians that stood by him? See how people behave. Onyema is comparing airfare in Nigeria to UK or America. Within America. I'm coming. I'm coming.
Domestic
Please,
airlines
I'm
around
coming.
Europe is even way cheaper than ours.
Please, I'm coming. He's comparing them. Is he not ashamed to say that as an executive? What is the purchasing power of Nigerians? I don't blame him now. I don't blame Onyema. I blame all these our senseless governors that are busy building airports all over the
About
place.
the taxes, the taxations, and how difficult it is to do business, especially the airlines.
Precious. What increased the price of ticket from 125,000 to 500,000 during this Christmas period?
And then why the
What
flight
increased
from
it?
Lagos to Kaduna will still be 125,000, but you where they go
So
to Bola
good.
go be
Don't
500,000.
worry. So what is Onyema talking about? What is Onyema talking about? Onyema has always been in the forefront of increase. He has been in the forefront.
Something. He said the government taxes and all that planes. In fact, he thought these new taxes where they won't begin paying now. Say if he even drag tickets to almost 1 million naira.
To 1,000, to 1 million. I saw it. And when I saw it, I said, this man is mad. Already he's behaving like a typical politician. He's already telling Nigerians what they want to do. That's why your politicians tell you they want to give you 2.5 million votes. Because they are working out the rigging formality. So that when they rig, you will not challenge them. That's what he's doing already. He's gaslighting Nigerians. Yes, he's gaslighting Nigerians already. Onyema should come and tell us why is it that every Christmas period, the Igbos will pay through their nose to get a flight to go to their hometown. They should come and explain to Nigerians.
What is most interesting is that Nigerians are not even dragging him, permit me to use the word, that ordinarily, even his own airline tickets is even more expensive on normal days than other airlines. While other airlines will charge like 125, his own may be 180, 200. You know. So
the thing is that Onyema is taking advantage of the fact that he has more fleet. But Onyema's airpiece is number one. Is number one in disappointing passengers.
Ew.
He is number one.
Sir.
And he never apologizes. And he never compensates Nigerians. He doesn't compensate Nigeria. He treats Nigeria worse than the government of Nigeria. That is why in one end they'll say Dangote wants to enjoy monopoly. Onyema wants to enjoy monopoly in the airline industry. And he's doing it. From here to UK, his own flight is more expensive than even British Air.
But it was cheaper than British Air. Those people almost revolted, against him. He was cheaper at the beginning.
Who revolted? You revolted.
You don't forget the problem.
See, now which problem? He just do shakara. He just say that to Bugulona.
Prince Francis, sir. Nigerians, phone lines are open. Let's have you joining the conversation. 0817.
Don't be bringing the issues of Onyema whenever I'm discussing on your.
I don't know say you and get issues like they accuse Rufai of having issues with Wiki. I didn't know. I did not know. I was not informed. I am not aware. I'm not aware. I did not know.
It's like coming to talk about your expatriate, and you want me to join you.
Francis, like I'm not feeling well today. See, I don't want you. You've been dragging me somehow, small. I've been avoiding the dragging. My body is paining me. 0817.
Your state speaker, the speaker of your state house of assembly, does he realize that now the governor is his organ? Does he realize that? Yes, politically speaking. Now the governor will decide that the governor will decide that he go say another thing. Go and find out. You never know what's in jam.
No vex. Make a call phone number. Nigerians, you can follow the link for inside the pink post. It will bring you straight into the studio to be part of the conversation. Just follow that link with it by the pink post. It will bring you straight into the studio for the conversation. Or you call the WhatsApp line 0817-029-4077. That number will bring you straight. Prince Francis, before I go ahead, I want to report somebody to you. I don't know if I'm free to report. Are you here, sir? Can you hear me?
I don't hear you.
I hear you. So you see, people they call me APC woman leader here again. I say I don't come out that title for my body. Waiting I can't do again to deserve this.
No, mind them, no mind.
I am APC, that I'm working for Tinubu and Wike, driving all of us. I'm driving them crazy.
You know that. You know the problem with Nigerians. The problem with Nigerians right now is that they don't know who to hold.
So anybody near
it? Anybody, because except for January when they want to look left, right, center, forward, because anything can happen. The Ireland said that they will not pay tax.
They say they're not going to pay. I say they're not going to. So maybe they see how Tinubu will force them to pay that tax.
No, but on the more serious note, pressure. On the more serious note, the crime committed by the executive arm of government is impeachable. It's an impeachable offense. How can you doctor a document that has been approved by the National Assembly? It's just because this National Assembly, like they go talk rubber stamp.
Yes.
If the National Assembly will get vibes, will understand their duty, they go drag Mr. President like a pass my neighbor generator now.
Wait.
But they don't fit to him. Who want to an Octavio? The same Abbas where they tell Octavio that I say, are you afraid of Donald Trump?
No, that one not be Abbas. That one not be Abbas. That one is deputy speaker.
Okay. So which of them? Which of them want to go open eye for Tinubu? They know their fear face.
Okay, so
you don't know the spirit of Emiloko. I mean, they don't tell them before they join politics. I beg.
All right, sir. Phone lines are open. Nigerians jumping in the conversation. Oga, leave me alone. The football. He say it will be hard to clear your doubt that I'm not a member of APC and working for Tinubu. Yeah, you don't know. You don't.
No problem. They know you know for Tinubu not crime.
Tinubu no be human being.
Not crime.
People when they work for another
when they collect rice, collect tomatoes, collect onions, collect 2,000, go vote. Then they sleep. Then they look for who they go call APC woman leader. Then they sleep that time.
The Barrys, my brother, welcome to the show. Good evening and welcome, the Barrys.
Good evening, PMP.
Sir,
Precious.
PMP. Welcome, sir.
I beg,
Yes,
see, Nigeria will they go so. No, let them begin tax us even before we enter the month.
Wallah, they have your parents, so they have a company. Oh.
I like this company. I want to join. No.
And our
They
share,
call them PBMP.
our share now $100 per share.
Hey.
No wahala. I go enter. It get waiting you talk today. Where we say exactly what I've been talking about. Where are our church leaders when things are going on like this in our country? You know, say for the past how many months now, I decided not to attend to church, just to boycott, because I'm not happy. And I talked to them. Where are the real GOs, or what you call them, the pastors? Where are their voices? Something is wrong somewhere. They're not telling us so. You see that they've taken bribe.
GOs have spoken. Sorry, I did not tell you people. Oh, that the GO spoke today now. How did
which of them? Which of them?
Wait,
which of them?
Find a thing for you now. No vex. You know.
Which of the GO?
I am like my former governor. Yes, on weekend. I am for everybody and for nobody like Buhari. So
see, Precious. Not be only we need action. You see the way these people are every time. How is it that the Muslim, the Islamic guys, or what you call them, they have so much power to get to the government and make things happen the way they want it? And in our own case, it be like we are handicapped. And with all the book, with all the grammar, it seems we are handicapped. What's going on? And now I want to ask people, what happens? Now you see the consequences of Muslim tickets. For the past 10 years now, Nigeria has been governed by Muslim leadership. See how far we go up to today. See some of my clients and friends, they ask me that Nigeria was almost top 5 fastest growing economy in the world. What happened? I don't tell them anything. I'm just wondering.
We nosedive small. We nosedive. We climb too fast. So we decided to slow down.
If you don't tell them say Buhari happened, sorry. Life happened.
Which life are we? What kind of what didn't happen where this we don't understand this simple?
Okay. This is what happened. Let me tell you what happened. Jonathan was running 1,000 kilometers per hour. Buhari said, no, that was too fast. Buhari came and said, I will run at 30 kilometers per hour. Now, Bola Tinubu don't come. He dey run at 15 kilometers per hour. That is the problem.
Say, I'm not sure say Tinubu really cares about this presidency because the way he's acting. Okay, now he don't travel, Abi. I never see a president of a country under such a sensitive situation without even making any announcement. Say, listen, I'm going for some kind of health or meeting or something. Why are these people running us as if now gangster? Well, I knew this. This Chicago, anybody where you know we're from Chicago, we don't live for America and live in Chicago, open your eye when you want to deal with that. The way they run things in town, I'm telling you, it's all about mob style, mob lifestyle. Their lifestyle is just mob action, mob, everything about them, Chicago mobs. Now, what thing Tinubu they do with Nigeria? Anyways, I just say, my Wiki, no worry. Wiki, I tell you last time, say, they don't draw in cutting. They don't draw that guy cutting. Now, I ain't go see how they clean person hand. Yeah, cutting don't they draw. Ain't go call tire. How far, how work, how office, Precious. I'm not saying get office for your place. Now this thing. Yeah, you get office for not do. You get office for there.
Who get office for my place?
We can get office on the key. You forget? I mean, you don't know. That why you don't take for Lagos, so do travel. I go now.
Oh my God, and just leave my village for last of this stuff. Like, come on, we going.
I want start the birthday party. I want start. So make it last more. The birthday is coming up. So make we start today from now. Happy birthday in advance.
I bet send the birthday talking to PMP.
You know what? You need to open another account for that one. Don't make I open them up. Open them now. If you open them, send me. Open them. I go wait. Make I wear grand. What's be that drink? Dom Perignon. Which one be that one where you like? What's be that 40-year-old?
I know they drink. Oh, now water they drink. I beg. I know they drink. So I want absolutely
Oh,
nothing for myself.
sapele water. Sapele water.
You know, Ndoki people they call them a tatem. Now tatem.
I know I take him. Now my papa walk out, so no go take and play. Now what's my papa do be that? Ah, well done, guys. At the listen, I do backyard. Well done. Have fun.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. I appreciate you. All right, Prince Francis Chilaka, I had a couple of things I wanted to talk with you about, but to be like say events already overtake those incidents. Yes. So let me quickly play you this video from a man of God who's been talking. He's been very outspoken about the things happening in Nigeria over time. Here's what he had to say today.
I'm excited about that. For the first time in nearly 20 years, the persecutors are smelling. The Holy Ghost called for a 7 midnight prayer raid. You are part of it. And the result is here today. Amen. And it's just beginning. All those who make others to mourn, they will mourn. All those who slaughter the children of others, their own will be slaughtered. All those who destroy the parents of others, they will not survive. They will not survive. Judgment has begun. Judgment has begun. God told me, I have heard you and I have stepped in. How many can see that God has stepped in? How many can see that God has stepped in? Shall we rise? Fire is burning. Judgment has landed. Give God thanks. For the first time, the persecutor is now becoming the persecuted. Give God thanks for stepping in as he said. Nigeria will not be the same anymore. Islamization agenda is slaughter, never to rise again. Give God thanks. We owe God thanks, everybody. We owe God thanks. We owe God thanks. I said with very loud sound of the trumpet, Nigeria will never be Islamized. Can never be Islamized. Every form of Islamic agenda for this nation is dead and buried. Fear has come to their camp. They will never recover from it. Far more than that, the angels of God have taken over. The angels of God have taken over. I said the angels of God have taken over. Our God is Lord of hosts. He has taken over the battlefield. He has taken over the battlefield. He has taken over the battlefield. Kidnapping will become history in Nigeria. Armed banditry in the forest in the name of Metiala is come to an end in Nigeria.
All right, so you see the way you can go ahead and call the names of
which tell me now of that pastor?
Pastor Yedeko. Pastor Yedeko.
When Pastor Dachumo, when Pastor Ezekiel Dachumo was, if Pastor Ezekiel Dachumo did not speak out, would they have come out to the same prophecies? Would they have come out to be saying such prayers? Even when the man came out and was screaming, and government was telling the man to shut up, how many of them came to his rescue? Precious, please leave these people alone. Leave these people alone. They are part of the problem of Christianity.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Well, that's the size of our package this evening. I'd like to say a big thank you to you, sir. Thank you so much for allowing me to disturb you again. Thank you so much, sir. So,
Voila.
Nigerians, I would have Ambassador Roy Ohide there join us tomorrow. I'm looking at going live by 2 o'clock for him to join us. So, we look, I mean, he's in the United States and he's a security expert and a military veteran, most importantly. And we're going to look at what's going on with Nigeria, especially considering the airstrike and what is the next, what's coming up. He's got quite a lot of information about all of this, considering that he's still, he's still in the security job in the United States. So he's got a lot to talk to us about tomorrow afternoon before we go live in the evening, and you don't want to miss that session. So you want to keep it live and go with us at that time. I'd like to say thank you to everyone who's been part of the show. It's always a pleasure to have you guys join us. And most importantly, don't forget to protect your mental health because voila, not the finish. So when you worry a bit, you protect your mental health. Follow us across our social media platforms at Precious Amy TV on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, name them, all of it. Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, all of it at Precious Amy TV. That's where we are across all those platforms. Kindly also like and share this post so that as many people as possible will have access to it and see it and hear the progressive ideas that we talk about in this show, and so that we look for ways to move our country forward. I love you guys. Protect your mental health, as I always say. Good night and God bless you. Thank you.